Hello, everyone. This is South Carolina, Crime and History, and today we are divulging into the story of serial rapist and sex offender Richard Daniel Starrett. Before we go further, we'd like to warn those viewing this that this deals with disturbing and/or upsetting topics such as sexual assault and kidnapping. Richard Daniel Starrett presents one of the most disturbing examples of duality in modern criminal history. Outwardly, Starrett lived a conventional life as a husband, father, and engineer. Yet, beneath the surface, he harbored violent compulsions that would manifest in a series of kidnappings, sexual assaults, and murder, ultimately branding him as a dangerous predator who terrorized the southeastern United States in the late 1980s. Born on September 25, 1959, Richard Daniel Starrett appeared to lead a normal and successful life. He was employed as a fire safety engineer at the Savannah River Site, a government nuclear facility near Aiken, South Carolina. He was married to Michelle Ward and had a young daughter. The family lived in Martinez, Georgia, and were known in their community as quiet and respectable. However, this image would shatter with the revelation of Starrett's secret life of violence and depravity. Between 1987 and 1988, Starrett launched a calculated campaign of abductions and sexual assaults. He used classified ads as a ruse, responding to postings by women selling household items. If the woman was alone, Starrett would visit under the pretense of being a buyer, then kidnap her at gunpoint. Victims were restrained with handcuffs and often taken to secluded locations where they were assaulted and sometimes videotaped. His crimes escalated both in frequency and severity. Starrett confessed to at least 7 abductions across South Carolina and Georgia, and authorities believe he may have committed similar crimes in other states, including Texas, California, and Alabama. Evidence suggested that he idolized serial killer Ted Bundy. Starrett owned a disturbing collection of Bundy memorabilia, including books, articles, and even audio tapes of Bundy's interviews. In December 1987, Starrett abducted and sexually assaulted a 12-year-old girl in Columbia, South Carolina. He pleaded guilty but mentally ill and received a sentence of life plus 20 years. However, this did not mark the end of his spree. In June 1988, he kidnapped 17-year-old Sherry Dawn Teets in Irmo, South Carolina. Teets managed to survive and later testified against him, which became a key factor in his conviction. Starrett's most heinous crime occurred on December 26, 1988, when he murdered 15-year-old Jean Taylor McCrea. After abducting her, he fatally shot her with a .38 caliber revolver and dumped her body in a wooded area of Newberry County, South Carolina. Starrett was arrested on February 14, 1989, while sleeping in his car in Houston, Texas. Upon interrogation, he led authorities to McCrea's body and confessed to numerous other crimes. A search of his belongings revealed thousands of pornographic items, much of it violent and sadistic in nature. He was charged and convicted in multiple cases. For the abduction of the 12-year-old in Columbia, he received a life sentence plus 20 years. For the Teets kidnapping and another in Irmo, he received 2 consecutive life sentences. By 1993, Starrett had been sentenced to a total of 9 life terms without the possibility of parole, spread across jurisdictions in South Carolina and Georgia. Starrett's case drew comparisons to Ted Bundy, not only for the nature of his crimes, but also for his apparent desire to emulate Bundy. Investigators described him as having a serial killer mindset and a progressively worsening addiction to violence. He reportedly blamed pornography for fueling his crimes, a claim often disputed by psychologists, who instead pointed to deeper antisocial and narcissistic tendencies. His crimes left his family shattered. His wife divorced him shortly after his arrest and retreated from public life. In later years, she expressed sorrow for the victims and their families. His mother's account of the shock and betrayal she felt was documented in the book A Stranger in the Family by Stephen Knifey and Gregory White Smith. Starrett's crimes were also profiled in an episode of Investigation Discovery's Evil Lives Here, offering further insights into the chaos he left behind. Richard Daniel Starrett's story is a chilling example of how someone can live a double life, hiding monstrous tendencies behind the mask of normalcy. His actions devastated families, shocked communities, and left a legacy of trauma and loss. The sheer calculation and brutality of his crimes, combined with his disturbing psychological profile, ensure that he will remain a notorious figure in American criminal history. While justice has been served through his multiple life sentences, the full extent of the damage he caused will never be fully measured.